everybody that's tried this batch of jerky is going absolutely wild for it, and I gotta say it is pretty darn good. I'm making this Korean barbecue flavor beef jerky that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Now let's put together this marinade, and for my 5 pounds of meat, I'm gonna start with 1.5 cups of soy sauce, and that is the full sodium variety, not the low sodium. I want all that salt. Now we're gonna go with 1 cup of sugar. It's gonna be a pretty sweet jerky. You could use honey there if you like. I'm gonna toss in 4 or 5 cloves of fresh garlic. And a couple of fresh hot peppers from out in the garden. And seeds are optional here. I have 1/4 of a medium onion. That's going to give us some good flavor and help to tenderize this a little bit. Now let's get some ginger down in here. And normally I would use some fresh ginger, but you have to be a little careful if you're going to marinate something for a long time using fresh ginger, because there's an enzyme in here that can really break down your meat and make it kind of mushy. But if you don't want that effect, you can take this fresh ginger and you can boil it or pop it in the microwave and get it nice and hot, and that will deactivate that enzyme. But for this recipe, and the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use some dried ginger powder, and you want to go with 2 to 3 teaspoons, depending on how gingery you like it and also how fresh your ginger powder is. And now for that real Korean flair, I'm going to put in some gochujang. And this is kind of a sweet and spicy and salty paste that's used in a lot of different Korean dishes. And I get this at my local Asian market, but it is becoming more popular and showing up more in grocery stores all over the place. But if you can't find this, go ahead and substitute this, and you're gonna be fairly close. I'm gonna go in with a 1/4 cup of that sticky gochujang. And another ingredient you're gonna find in a lot of Korean barbecue recipes is a pear. And it's gonna be an Asian pear, of course, but if you can't get an Asian pear, any good pear will do. Have I ever expressed how much I hate stickers on produce? Ugh. We'll just cut out the core, get that in there. Just love getting my hands on a good pear. And now for a couple of optional ingredients. If you really want to kick that umami flavor of this up a notch, you could throw in a couple of teaspoons of MSG. Now, I know a lot of people are sensitive to it, so it is completely optional, and this is going to be really great tasting with or without that. Also, I like to put Cure in my jerky. I like what it does for the texture and the color. So this is pink Cure number 1, and if you're going to use it, you want to use it at a rate of 1 teaspoon per 5 pounds of meat. Well, that certainly has a powerful and pleasant aroma coming off of it. And now my final ingredient is going to be a couple of tablespoons of sesame oil. And I didn't add this in before I blend it because that much agitation could possibly make this turn bitter. So I'm going to add it in now and just pulse this a couple of times to get it blended in really well, and then we're ready to go. Nothing works better for making jerky than venison and elk. Not only are they incredibly delicious, but they're also super lean, and that's what you want when you're making jerky, because it's the fat in the meat that can go rancid long before the lean meat, and we do tend to store jerky for quite some time. And I do have a nice supply of venison in the freezer, but I cherish that stuff and I'd like to use it for some other recipes. So today I'm using this lean beef top sirloin, so this is going to be kind of fancy lad, pinky out kind of jerky. And the first thing I want to do is to trim off all the big chunks of fat. Get yourself a nice sausage pile going. Now I just need to cut my strips, and I like a nice thick jerky strip, but that is completely up to you. It's only going to affect the drying time. Now all that's left to do is marry the meat with that marinade. And you know what? I did forget one more ingredient, but it's fine, I can add it in now. And since this is a Korean barbecue flavored jerky, and I'm going to be dehydrating this and not smoking it, I want to get some barbecue flavor in there, so I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. And now you just want to mix this together really, really well to make sure every piece of that gets coated in marinade. And now, with the big thick pieces of jerky like this is a 24-hour minimum marinade. If you're real thin pieces, you might get away with 12. But regardless, now this goes out into the fridge to give that meat some time to soak up all those great flavors.
The next morning.
After a day in the marinade, it's just about time to jerk this meat. The first thing I want to do is drain off any excess marinade. So just give it a little shake and a few of these. Get in there, toss it around. Just trying to get any excess marinade off of there. Yes, jerking your meat is a very hands-on experience. I'll just let this sit for a few minutes to continue to let that marinade drain off of there. quite often when I'm making jerky, after I drain off the extra marinade, I'll pat the strips with some paper towels to get even more of the moisture off. But this batch, I want to have kind of a sticky, sweet finish to it, so I'm gonna leave the extra marinade on it. However, that might cause it to stick a little bit to my dehydrator racks, so I'm gonna hit those with just a tiny bit of cooking spray. And now we'll just line these up on here, just leaving a little gap between each piece so the air can circulate all around them. Now we'll set the dehydrator to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and those are some big, thick boy pieces of jerky, so the smaller ones are going to take at least 6 hours to dehydrate, and the bigger ones will probably take up to 8. So I'll start checking these at 6 hours, and then I'll just pull the ones that are ready. I'll continue to check them every half hour or so after that, and pull them as they're finished. Alright, let's see how we're doing 6 hours in. Oh yeah, that looks great. Oh yeah, feels like they're mostly done. Beautiful color. It smells incredible in here. Yep, looks good. So I guess I'll just shut down the dehydrator. Let this air cool out here for a while, and I can't wait to try it out. Here it is, right out of the dehydrator. It just got it all cooled down, and I cannot wait to try this out. Oh, there's a little beauty right there. Look at the color on that. Looks great. Check out that bite. Oh yeah. That's gonna be trouble. The flavor is spot on. You get that ginger, a little bit of sesame, and it's got nice sweet spiciness to it. It's also pretty tender. So it's gonna have to be sheer willpower to get me to put this down. Really great stuff. And this is the type of recipe that you can just go wild with, either by adding more or less of one of the ingredients, or adding in just about any flavor you like. I'll make my next batch with a lot more heat, and I'll probably use that fresh ginger. It's the type of thing you can just get really creative with. So, next time you're heading out on a road trip, or maybe you're getting married in France, make yourself some jerky and get your chew on. Thanks for watching.